This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
The atmosphere seemed charged with trouble, especially among the Indians. Certain Bannock Indians had stolen several horses and beaver traps from a French brigade on Bear River. The thieves were brazenly encamped near the rendezvous and were in a defiant mood. On June 15th, 2 Nez Perce Indians, backed by a handful of whites, visited the Bannock section and retrieved the stolen horses and traps while the Bannocks were absent on a buffalo hunt. Toward mid-afternoon, about 30 overheated Bannocks dashed headlong into the Flathead camp at rendezvous, demanding the horses, diplomatically declaring as an afterthought that they were not fighting the whites. David L. Brown, who reached the rendezvous a month later, was told that the Bannocks had stolen a very fine stallion belonging to the principal chief of the Flatheads, Insala. For safety, Insala had quietly slipped the halter to son-in-law James Bridger, who, at the moment, stood before his own lodge. Brown learned that the Bannock chief impudently demanded the restoration of the brute as belonging to his tribe. This was denied on the part of the Flatheads, and the horse was finally given into the hands of Bridger for security and safe keeping. As this person was leading off the disputed property, the Bannock chief stepped resolutely forward and attempted to wrest the halter from Bridger's hand, by which the horse was confined, when a scuffle ensued, in which Bridger's rifle was either intentionally or accidentally discharged. Meek's version. At this unprecedented insult to his master, a Negro named Jim, cook to the Bouchouet, Bridger, seized a rifle and shot the Bannock chief dead. Brown's narrative. This served as the signal for a general onslaught. The hunters and trappers, who had gathered around at the commencement of the difficulty, from motives of curiosity, now poured in a murderous fire upon the surprised and astonished Bannocks, who had been calmly awaiting on horseback the result of their chief's interference. 9 saddles were immediately emptied of their occupants, and probably as many more persons were mortally wounded, but who were still able to retain their seats and escape. The poor wretches who had fallen in the commencement of the affray were tomahawked and scalped on the spot, and their disfigured and mutilated remains were dragged about a mile from the encampment, and there left to be devoured by the wolf and vulture. Obviously, chronicler Brown was not informed of the pathetic sequel. Joseph L. Meek had good reason to remember the occasion, if not the precise date of its occurrence, for in the melee against the Bannocks, a stray arrow struck the lovely Tukin in the breast, and the joys and sorrows of the mountain lamb were forever ended. There is little question that she had been with the Bridger beaver trappers during the previous winter, squired by the ever-loyal Joseph L. Meek. Her death occurred almost coincidentally with the newspaper announcements in faraway St. Louis of the death of her beloved first husband, Milton G. Sublett.